Breaking news: DWP freezes pensioner bank accounts. What you need to know. In a shocking turn of events, pensioners across the UK are waking up to find their bank accounts mysteriously frozen without warning, explanation, or any idea what's going on. Thousands are already affected, with many unable to withdraw a single penny of their own pension money. People who've worked their whole lives, now suddenly cut off from their funds. And at the heart of this unfolding disaster is a quiet, little publicized change in policy linking the Department for Work and Pensions, the DWP, to new banking restrictions. If you or a loved one receives a state pension, pension credit, or any DWP-linked benefit, this directly concerns you. So stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you could be the difference between keeping access to your money or losing it when you need it most. Now, this isn't a story about fraud, scams, or someone stealing from accounts. No, this is about updated systems and security layers being introduced between banks and the DWP, creating a tangled mess of red tape that's blocking everyday pensioners from accessing their own hard-earned money. It's not based on wrongdoing. It's not about suspicious activity. It's about technical mismatches. Slight differences in how your name appears on different systems, an old address not syncing correctly, or even just being over a certain age can now trigger an account under review flag, locking your funds with no notice. It's called identity confirmation alignment, and while it sounds harmless, its effects are anything but. What's truly alarming is how quietly all of this is happening. There's been no major announcement, no press release, and no clear warning. People only find out when they try to withdraw their money and are told they can't. Imagine heading to the ATM to draw your pension only to get declined. Or going into your local branch, being told your account is being reviewed, and then sent into a never-ending loop of blame between your bank and the DWP. Rent payments missed. Fridges left empty. Bills unpaid. And yet, no one takes responsibility. This isn't a one-off glitch. It's a systematic policy rollout under the radar. Banks are now more tightly aligned with government benefit systems, meaning the slightest discrepancy can lock you out of your finances. A middle name missing from your account, a decades-old name change, or even opening your account long before digital ID checks were standard, all of these things are triggering reviews. And who's being hit the hardest? Pensioners. Often vulnerable, often isolated, and often without digital access to fix issues quickly. What's worse is how long these reviews can take. Some people have reported being locked out for days. Others, over a week. And throughout that time, there's no guaranteed helpline, no fast-track solution, and very little empathy. You're left in financial limbo, facing essential living costs without support. And let's be honest, in today's economy, with energy bills, groceries, council tax, and healthcare all rising, even a short delay can be devastating. This could be happening to anyone. And many of those affected never saw it coming. One day, everything's fine. The next, they're caught in a bureaucratic nightmare. And it's not just happening with one or two banks. Several major high street banks are already involved, ones commonly used for receiving pensions and benefits. The DWP, meanwhile, says these checks are necessary to prevent fraud and overpayments. But who's paying the real price? The people who did everything right. Here's the brutal reality: no one's properly explaining what's happening. The media's barely touched it. Many frontline bank staff aren't even fully informed. And the DWP? They're pointing fingers, saying it's the bank's procedures. The result is a game of ping-pong with pensioners stuck in the middle, desperate for answers. But let's move from the problem to the solution. There are steps you can take today to reduce your risk and prepare. First and foremost, make sure your bank details are up to date and match exactly what the DWP has on file. That means full legal name, current address, and national insurance number. Even the smallest mismatch can raise a flag. If you've moved recently, changed your name, or adjusted your bank info in any way, double-check with both your bank and the DWP. Do not assume they talk to each other, they don't. Next, be alert to any messages from your bank asking you to confirm details. Yes, scams exist, but some of these messages are legitimate. Call your bank using the number on the back of your card, not a link from a text, and ask directly, is my account under any DWP-related review? Are there any holds on my benefit deposits? If you don't ask, they won't always tell you. Now, if your account has been frozen, don't panic but act fast. Call your bank, ask for a written explanation, and get a case number. Then contact the DWP and ask if any identity flags are on your record. If you're being bounced between the two, get your local MP involved or reach out to Citizens Advice. These steps might not fix things instantly, but they can apply pressure, and pressure works. And here's something most people don't know: a pilot scheme is quietly being tested in parts of the UK. It allows pensioners to receive an early fraud alert before their account is frozen. If you mention the DWP-linked pre-release notification scheme when speaking to your bank, some are already enabling it even though it hasn't been officially launched yet. This could give you a critical window to fix any issues before your account gets blocked. It's not widely publicized, but it exists, and asking about it could save you a serious headache. Now let's take a moment to talk about what this all means on a deeper level. Many of you watching have already spent years dealing with the DWP. You've filled out countless forms, made endless phone calls, chased letters, and tried to navigate a system that often feels stacked against you. You've done everything right. So to now be blocked from accessing your own pension money you earned is not just frustrating. It's humiliating. It's degrading. And it's wrong. But you're not alone. And this video isn't about spreading fear. It's about awareness. It's about arming you with the knowledge to protect yourself and encouraging you to spread that knowledge to others. Because the more people who know, the harder it becomes for policies like this to slip through unnoticed. We need to speak up. We need to demand transparency. We need to remind both the banks and the government that these aren't just numbers, they're people's lives. So, let me leave you with this: don't wait. Don't assume you're safe just because you haven't been affected yet. Take action now. Check your records. Call your bank. Be proactive. You've worked too hard and come too far to be treated like this. And finally, if this video helped you understand what's going on even just a little, do me one favor: share it. Send it to a family member. Post it in a community group. Pass it along to someone who might be at risk. Because this issue is real, it's growing, and the only way we fight it is by standing together, staying informed, and refusing to be silenced. Thank you for watching, and if you want to stay ahead of the curve on stories like this with real updates, real solutions, and none of the fluff, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now. More importantly, take care of yourself, protect your pension, and keep your voice heard. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and stay prepared.